when you find out there's an estate sale at the home of one of the greatest rock and roll managers of all time? There's only two things to do. Get up and get out there. Kiss fans, you will not want to miss a minute of this one. It's going to be really cool, especially the last room. Those are some great pickups. I'll get them right out to you. Hey, I'm Hyde, the junk rocker. Step inside, walk this way as we're walking through the kitchen right now on the way to the grotto of the home of Doc McGhee in Nashville. Big estate sale going on. Doc McGhee, manager of bands like Motley Crue, Kiss, and Skid Row, among others. Yeah, this was going to be one I did not want to miss. Now, I know what you're saying. Hyde, Doc McGhee is still with us, and that's a great thing. This was obviously more of a moving sale kind of thing, closing up the Nashville home. The Dolphins were not for sale, much to my sadness. I guess they probably stayed with the home. So the new owner, good for them. They got themselves some Dolphins. This 50th anniversary Broil Master Grill was for sale, just wasn't for me. I just didn't need it, although the idea of telling people I had Doc McGhee's grill sounded kind of cool. Doc McGhee, again, just one of the most amazing managers. Kiss called him up in 1996 when they reunited, and there might be something in this building here that's an artifact from when Kiss reunited. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Right now we're in the garage, just checking out the various things, these shoes, these golf clubs. None of this was of any interest to me. My sister, who was walking in front of me just a moment before, had seen something the previous day. This was day 2 of this estate sale. I'd been there on day 1 and was coming back to see what else I might find. And she had seen something in the garage the day before that she wanted to check out. So we're going through that. Now, I'm looking over here because I see holiday things, and like I said, I love vintage Christmas. None of this was all of that vintage, so I decided to take a seat. According to the guy running the sale, this chair originally cost $1,300, but they were selling it for $75. It still wasn't for me, so I decided this wasn't good. But there was a second chair there, also $75, and the man pointed out, he said, I believe that second chair was the one reserved for people negotiating with Doc, because as you'll see when I sit in it, it's just a little bit lower than the first one, which may have been Doc's seat. Who knows? You'll see us all wearing masks in this video. This is from back in 2020. I wanted to let a lot of time pass just in case Doc hadn't sold the house yet or anything like that. I wanted to let some time pass. But looking over here, gift wrap and gift bags might be a silly thing to think about buying at a rock and roll estate sale, but hey, we all love to give gifts. We all love to be generous, and those bags, they get expensive, so I always pick them up at sales when I can. Did not buy those. Looking over here is the CDs. Now this I thought was going to be the gold mine. Now, the day before I actually did pick up a few. I picked up Subhuman Race by Skid Row, still sealed promo copy, a Whitesnake Still of the Night promo single. Other than that, everything was really commercially available stuff, already open. So nothing amazing in that selection. Going out here to this guest area, and looks to me like if you're a guest of Doc McGhee, you were put up pretty nice here. Look at this beautiful bed, beautiful table. I always look at TVs when I'm in an estate sale or a yard sale, a garage sale, always looking to see if I can upgrade. I've got many computer monitors or even something to use for testing, but none of this was going to be something I wanted. A lot of glass items, especially my favorite glass item coming up right here. I mean, glass buffalo. You know you need a glass buffalo. This one said as is, and personally, I'm looking for one that's a bit more pristine. I didn't want just an as is glass buffalo. Look, we all collect the things we collect. Do you have a use for a glass of buffalo? By all means, let me know, because I love to know what people collect. I want to know what you are into. So if a glass buffalo is something that you would love, hey, hit me up. I want to hear all about it. Again, I didn't buy it, so I can't hook you up, but that's all right. We're heading down to the basement now. This jukebox, an absolute beauty. I'm a jukebox fiend. We'll get back to this one in a little bit. I'll take another look at it. But right now, just looking at this little outside area. Thought this was really, really cool. Gated. You'll see a lot of gates around this house, which was very interesting. pool table. Obviously, this was just kind of a cool chill room. You got the Nintendo Wii. You got Spider-Man art signed by Stan Lee, though I don't know that it's his art. I'm not sure. It was just really cool painting, but Stan Lee signed it, so that's really neat. There is a one-person sauna over here, and that's that kind of a silver-looking thing there to the left. I've never had use for one. I'm not really a sauna guy, but if you did, this was the place to buy it because it was heavily on discount. There was a wine cellar. Don't know what was through the other doors. They were closed. But just looking around, looking at the art, I liked that a lot of the art was just very much what you'd think. It was stuff that Doc dug. You know, you're looking at a really cool Spider-Man, Muhammad Ali, the bar scene. I like that it was just stuff that really made sense to me when I think of a rock and roll manager. When I think of the guy who put together the Moscow Peace Festival featuring Ozzy, Motley Crue, Skid Row, Cinderella, Gorky Park, Scorpions, I think that this is the kind of stuff he's going to have on his walls. Taking a look here at this jukebox, like I said, I've been looking for a jukebox. I don't have one. I've got a lot of 45s. This one did contain Cher and Captain and Tennille, among others, but this was not going to be my jukebox. It was already sold by the time I got there, and I wasn't in the market for that one at the time anyway. So it's time to head upstairs and see what else we can find. Basement was smaller as far as what was available, so I wanted to check out. I wanted to see if there was more things I could find that were rock and roll relics or just something that screamed rock and roll opulence to me, right? That's what I'm looking for. I mean, that jacket right there could have done it, very sequiny. I did like this Rat Pack painting that you're about to see here. Thought that was really, really cool. Looking around here, a lot of the fur things, lots of clothing items. Never really seen Doc in a suit too much. You know, he does wear suits, but not like the suit and tie vibe. So I knew those were out of my price range. I knew like this side table, just not what I was looking for on this day. Again, I'm looking for stuff for me. I'm looking for stuff to flip for others and make sure that we can connect people with things that they enjoy. So none of this was really going to be in my wheelhouse, but it was worth taking a look at and really kind of digging into these beanies here. I was like, all right, we got Chicago. People love that, and that could be something, but the prices were not cheap at this thing, as you would expect. They were 20% off or 30% off on this day, 20% off in the Kiss room later on. Yeah, I said the Kiss room. Stay tuned. I actually wasn't sure if this was Great White, the band, or just, you know, obviously a great white shark. So I kind of brought in a consult, and we didn't get any closer to it. Did not end up buying it. As much of a fan of the band Great White as I am, I wanted to be a little twice shy on this particular beanie. It was not for me. And like I said, just all kinds of good clothing in this room. Kind of a nice room / office. It was a cool vibe. And then you can see there's a door outside to a chill area. I loved the layout. I thought this was cool. This is a great neighborhood in Nashville that just has beautiful homes. So just even to be able to step inside one of these homes without knowing whose it was would have been really cool. But knowing for me that I was stepping in the home of a guy who brought Kiss back to the top of the world. And there I am. Hey, look, it's me in the mirror. Look at, there we go. Cheesing up. Oh, I embarrass myself sometimes. We're going to be taking a look through here, going upstairs. This is now, we are approaching Nirvana. Now we're approaching Kiss, as a matter of fact, but Kiss Nirvana, if you are a fan. This is where the Kiss room is. This was really cool, and yet in its own way a little disappointing. I'm just going to say it right now. When I'm looking for something related to the career of Doc McGhee and the bands that he has worked with, I'm looking for something that wasn't necessarily commercially available. I'm looking for something that's, you know, would have been precious to him, to the band. A lot of this was just the Kiss merchandise, and tons of it, don't get it wrong. And that in itself was just so cool to be around. But on the whole, this was a lot of stuff that you could have gotten anywhere. These were all reprint shirts. They weren't vintage. And so I was a little dismayed by that. But there's some cool finds to be had here still that I decided I couldn't pass up on in my various trips to this estate sale. But just going through this and seeing a lot of the Kiss stuff, again, this is all stuff that I feel You could have bought it at Spencer's at any time, Spencer's Gifts. You could have bought it at Hot Topic. It just wasn't what I was looking for. But cool to see it all in one place. As a longtime Kiss fan, I saw Kiss on the reunion tour and just blew my mind as a 15-year-old kid, seeing that recreation of the Love Gun era. Just amazing. And I've seen them so many times since that this was awesome. If you're a Kiss fan, you've got your share of Kiss merchandise. Am I scrolling past anything that you own as a Kiss fan? Hit me up in the comments and let me know. Or if there's something you think, Hyde, you should have picked that up. Again, hit me up. Let me know what I missed out on. I never claimed to be the ultimate Kiss expert. I just claimed to be a fan. What can I tell you? Again, I owned a lot of this stuff the first time around. I owned a lot of this stuff when it came out. I was hitting up Spencer's Gifts to get all my cool Kiss stuff around 97, 98. Just the merchandising train was always great with this band. So there's no lack of anything. Now, over here, I do see some posters. As I mentioned, I'm a poster fiend. I always love going through, finding old posters. Admittedly, on this day, I was so keyed in on getting to the shirts and getting to look at all of this that I barely paid attention to the posters. I looked at a few, but I didn't see what I would see the next day. And we'll get into that as I start going through them. But the next day I picked up some stuff. Now there is something in the background there that you might see. I mean, hopefully we'll come back to it, that I ended up picking up the next day as well. Let me tell you, I think I found the one piece of Kiss memorabilia that is not something commercially available that I'm really proud of. And I will get to it when we see it again on camera here. Right now, take a look at these Mega Metal cards. Look, they're cool. I've had them over time. I think I've had them 3 or 4 times over the years. Didn't buy these. They were a bit overpriced in my opinion. Going through the End of the Road tour, which hadn't even totally finished up yet. It was on break because this is 2020. Everything was on break. It was a shame. They had to abandon the tour for a little while, as everybody did. This Rock and Roll Over Beethoven shirt, you're talking that Kiss Alive 4 Symphony, so cool. These shirts, again, they were available. These were all later shirts. None of these were really of the vintage, let's say, even though at this point in time, Kiss Alive 4 was almost 20 years old. But none of them were really going much past 2005. So in 2020, these weren't really jumping out at me. There's a lot probably from about 2012 on. So they weren't really feeling old yet. And so I'm looking through them and I'm just, some of them are tour shirts. Some of them are just the stuff that, again, you would find at Walmart or at Target. So these weren't really jumping out at me as something I just had to have, but I'm digging. And that is the point. You always got to dig, especially in a situation like this. Having never, ever experienced something like this. I've got Sweden Rock Festival. I had a buddy who used to go to this all the time. There it is in the background. I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at yet. I'll get to it. We'll get to it. Kiss Rush Europe. This was something that I'm like, all right, Kiss and Rush at the top there. I'm a huge fan of both of these bands. I think I got to have this shirt. I'm looking at it. I'm loving it. It's just a cool tour shirt. Like, this is an event shirt. This was something that you weren't going to buy in Target. This is something you weren't going to buy at Spencer's. But again, in this room right now, everything was 20% off. So I'm thinking on it. I'm looking at other stuff, but it's on the top now. So it's in the top of my brain. That's the way to put it. That tunnel vision is kicking in. How about you? Do you get that tunnel vision when you're looking through stuff? For me, that was 100% the case. When I'm looking at that Kiss Rush shirt, I'm going, these are two of my favorite bands. But I'm looking through here and I found some. Yes, I did. I know what I'm looking at. Setting Detroit on Fire, October 16th and 17th. This is the reunion tour. This is 1996. And I know what I'm looking at. The thing is, they didn't, because they had a ton of this era shirt behind the counter. And they were charging way more money for them. But this one got mixed in somehow. So I was going to be able to get this shirt cheaper. And there was no way I was going to let it sit one more minute without taking it. No way. Now, I've been talking about it. Look in the back there. I'll make this a little bigger for you. This is a hat from the USS Intrepid, the aircraft carrier. Why does that matter? Kiss announced their reunion in 1996 on the USS Intrepid. It was really cool. They had Conan O'Brien come out. And the reason I even knew to recognize that hat was watching Conan O'Brien with the hat on, talking about when Kiss wanted me to introduce them. I only had 2 questions.
What time and what aircraft carrier?
I mean, I love that. So good. So I knew when I saw that the next day, I didn't see it this day because it was back there, but I knew the next day. I said, you know what? I think this is part of history. Looked at the tag. It's a vintage tag. The conclusion is this is the hat given to Doc McGhee the day Kiss announced their reunion on the USS Intrepid. And yes, I still have that hat. Kiss fans, hit me up. I don't know what to tell you. I still have it. I'll field offers on anything, but I still have that one. Never worn to this day. It's an absolute beauty. And to have that piece of history was something I just absolutely had to take home with me. Sad I didn't notice it here on this day. It's just sitting back there. Can you believe that? But I did notice it later and made that buy. And again, to the sellers, it was just a hat. It wasn't even a Kiss hat. They didn't even charge me a lot for it, but I knew what I was looking at. Got to take a look at these posters. Like I said, this is a Kiss Symphony promo poster. Really cool, just not something I needed. I'm looking for that older thing. I'm looking for something just a little bit more vintage than that, and happily come across it. Look at this. We talked about Doc McGhee managing Bon Jovi. During this New Jersey tour, he had them touring everywhere, non-stop. So this was a really cool poster. Didn't buy it this day, but I did come back the next day and pick that up. As well mixed in there was 2 promo posters for the movie Young Guns 2, which of course features the greatest soundtrack of all time by John Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory. Gotta love that, right? So I had to buy those the next day when I came back for them. See, I'm thinking about it now. Poster, yes, no, yes, no. I decided to do the wait because I see nobody else is really looking at them. And I said, you know what? I'll wait a day. I'll wait one more day, come back for it. We'll see if it's still there. Take my risk, take my chances. That's what you got to do sometime. Sweden Rock shirt, same thing. I'm leaving it for the next person. And if I come back tomorrow, maybe it'll be cheaper. And sure enough, it was. I picked it up, got a better deal on it. Life's good. That's a good thing. So again, I'm cleaning up, but then I see something in the back that I've never laid my hands on before. And I'm real interested and I want to check it out. So I'm waiting for the guy to finish up something before we can talk about it. And this would be the Kisstory book. I'd never seen one in person. These books were mail order only in the mid-90s, and they originally were hand signed and all that. This book I don't believe was, but I've never seen one in person. So I really wanted to kind of thumb through it, take a look, see how in-depth it was. And so I'm waiting. I'm just waiting, and there it is. He grabs it for me, lets me take a look at it. As much as the rollover Beethoven shirt was cool, I had to pass. I thought it was great. Thought it was really neat, but then I realized I like this symphonic sonic boom, and it's the event shirt, and yet how cool was it that eventually they made an album called Sonic Boom? Obviously, it was something in the head for a while, but this was a whole different album. Let's get that Kiss book. I want to take a look at this thing because, again, having never laid my hands on it, remember seeing it in the back of all the magazines and the ads, I was ready to take my part in history. As I recall, the price was a bit out of my range on this particular day. I'm cheap. I don't know what to tell you, but I had to look at it. Look at this thing. You got to give Kiss credit for all the merchandise they put out, for all the things they put out there. There's never a lack of quality. And this book was amazing. See, I'm looking to see, is it signed? It's not. So I just begin to thumb through it. I'm looking for my favorite era of Kiss, which will be blasphemy to some and appreciated by others. I'm looking in that Revenge, Carnival of Souls era, and that's my jam. To me, Unholy, Hate, Rain, I Walk Alone, these are all my classics. This is my Kiss. So I wanted to see how much of that was documented in that book, but I also didn't want to get my grubby fingerprints all over it. So I handed it back. That's what you got to do. Again, it wasn't going to come home with me. I didn't want to waste too much time on it, but I did want to see it. And having it in my hands as a longtime Kiss fan was an experience. Now I'm buying my shirt, and I'm not going to lie, I kept it folded up nice and tight because I didn't want the man to see that it was the same as some of the ones he was charging a lot of money for. It was on this side of the table, my man. You did it. You did it to yourself, right? I'm taking a look here because one of the things about me is I'm always looking for a better sleep. This sounds like it's about to be an ad. It's not. I'm looking at these pillows because they looked really plump, and I like a good, nice, soft pillow. And to be 100% honest, I came back the next day and bought 2 of these. They were Tommy Bahama pillows, and they were very comfortable. I used them for the better part of 4 years before it was time to move on. But I'm a pillow fiend. I'm always looking for that better pillow. Not something I would traditionally buy at an estate sale, but I could tell this was in a guest room. I could tell these weren't overly used, and if they were used, they were used by really cool people. It was about time to start wrapping up my journey in the home of one of the greatest rock managers of all time. Again, Skid Row, Motley Crue, Kiss. You are talking the music of my life. Bands who still to this day, always on, always playing. You got to always check the bands out. Kiss off the road, but Motley, they're going back out doing their residencies. Skid Row in a bit of a flux as I'm recording this, but they're always around. Never miss an opportunity to rock out with live music and with these bands. Doc McGhee gave us the soundtrack, made these guys front and center in our world. This was just amazing to be going to this estate sale of one of the greatest managers of all time. Again, these bands are the soundtrack of our lives, and this is the guy who made it possible for them to tour all over the world, who made it happen, made the amazing videos that we saw on MTV and really put them into our hearts. So to be able to go to the sale and go through his stuff was just absolutely incredible. I don't know how I'm ever going to top it in the world of going to estate sales and yard sales and all. So please like and subscribe. We got a lot more adventures coming up for you. I appreciate you. Till next time.